had to pick that up and then clean my hands a little bit. So here we go again. And bring a little bit more details to this tree. Bring a little bit more light in certain areas. Mostly darker here and that warm dark. Just got a subtle plum purple tint to that. All right, now down in here, let's bring some green to this. So we're using all scents here now as we're getting further and further into this. I'm gonna bring out my bright green. That's a Neo. Do I have a bright green over here? I don't, but I do have this. Just gonna bring in. I like to use the scents mostly in the foreground because it's they're so bright. Colors are so bright. So we'll bring some green to this bush. We'll bring out some highlights to that bush too in a sec. I gotta get some color into it. And this one's a little bit of an ochreish. This plant here, a bit warmer. This is an old stick because it's harder to get the color in. They kind of harden up after age. And we can bring in some indication of some leaves here that have fallen. The start of that anyways. We'll put some more colors into it, but we can start putting it in with this ochre here. You can see the colors here I'm using, kind of these greens. I don't know what number this is. I have a big version of it too right here. What number is that? Sometimes the number just not even showing. But there it is. So I'm not going to do really much blending here in the front because I want that texture to bring it forward for us. Because you can use texture as a means of bringing something closer. Over here, this plant is green right over this, right in this area. Make like little leaves of it. I'll put some grass there in front of it too. Just want it a little darker at the base. So we'll smudge it into that blue a little bit. Just gotta make sure that dark shows in there. Oops, nope, dropped to the floor. It's a long ways down there. Okay. Let me try a different ochre. That one doesn't really want to sit well. Let's try this one. A little better. I gotta probably throw away some of these scents. Some of these scents are so old. I've had them, like I said, since a lot of them for 12 years, so they've kind of hardened up on me a little. This is the fun part of the painting for me. This is like when I start working with the scents, this is where I really start enjoying or starting to get close to the end here. It's always my favorite part of the painting. All right, these are leaves that have fallen. Big Mosey, my dog. He's such a character. Yeah, let's bring in a brighter green. Maybe I lost it, but I had another really bright green in here. Oh, there it is. This guy right here. I need to get another refill of this one, because I only got a little of this little guy left. This is a really bright green that I can really pop in there. Maybe not. Maybe this one's done too. Yeah, I think this one's done. Doesn't want to lay. Okay. Let's try this Neo Pastel. That's a little good. That's a good one. Here's the grass. It's kind of really bright back in here. Okay. More of these leaves. Put some dark in there a little bit, some of them. And we need a bright yellow here also. Some of these leaves catch that light. Gonna brighten up some of those. I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way because it's kind kind of in my way here, so give me a second here. Oh, dropped another guy. Do that a lot though. Let me just move some of these out of the way, especially the big one. I don't need a stump right now, or that. Pick up this one. All right. Sorry if it's all getting moving around too much here, guys. I'm just trying to find the right ones. I'm missing a green. It's this one, but I can't seem to make that work. So we'll have to try what this one's like. It's really bright. Some gray into it. Kind of where the sun is hitting mostly. That's where most of that light is. And there are a couple of things over here that get lit up. Over here. I'm going to do a little bit of grass. Try just a different kind of green. Maybe this one will work. Okay. So grass. Into the dark. Something different. Some of these are going to be brighter. If I can find the right bright one here, maybe this yellow will do it. There we go. Right on top of that dark blue. All right, just something different. And the light catches some of those leaves a little bit stronger than other ones. you get the idea. It's just a mess of different ochres and greens and just stuff like that, just all thrown into it. Kind of work into the shadow. Sometimes I come over with my hand. Let's try this peach one here. Get that in there a couple times. Bright ones here towards the light. Grass. Now I wonder if a scratch back would work. Let's try that too. So scratch back, if I just take just anything like a sharp edge, I'm using the edge of this palette knife here. You can literally scratch the oil pastel all the way out and make some nice details, some texture. And you get a nice bright mark. I'm basically just scratching it back all the way to the paper. But it's just an interesting little detail you can add onto it. You can do branches this way. Right? You don't want to do too much, otherwise it won't look all that great, but just a few of those in there. So yeah, any kind of palette knife or just something sharp. Sometimes you can use the end of a brush. That'll work. This palette knife here is working great for that. All right, that's interesting. Gives a little bit more something to work with. Okay, kind of back highlights, push that back. You can see that the brightest colors here, though, are right here in the front. Okay, I do that on purpose to give this pop, this whole section forward. Increase this gray up a little bit more. This part of this tree is bark is missing right in this area. Okay, now we got some foliage to this tree. All right, so let's move all these over. Move all these over here. Okay, and I think I'm just going to start with clean hands again. So looking pretty good. I'm pretty much done. I'm just gonna finish up this tree and then probably be done. I really like the way the sky looks now. I might soften those clouds a little more. By softening I mean I would take like a brush, something, just want to make sure I don't bring any color to those. But you can grab a little brush like this. Want to make sure I don't have any color on it, and I can just kind of go over. Yeah, see, I brought a little bit of dirt to it, but I'll just use my finger. But you can kind of just soften those edges, right? Because those have got to really sit back in there. And where's my white? Bringing that strong white on the highlight of it. This is a Neo Pastel white, so it doesn't lay on top very nicely, not like the sun white does. But it'll work. It'll work for this. Because we're gonna fill this thing up here with leaves. What I wanted to do is soften those clouds up even more. Just gotta make sure I have a clean finger for this. Because I don't want to bring any green or anything into it. Okay, but anyway, you can take a brush, as I was going to try to demonstrate, even something like this, and just kind of soften that up even more. And it just cuts the edges down, changes the value a little bit too. You can do the whole area, like I can do these distant trees, and just kind of soften those textures up. See that? Just kind of drag that, soften that up. That really helps with getting that to sit back even further back. Okay, too much though, and you lose it though. So it's something you got to be careful about, as you'll lose some things about it. Okay. Kind of poking at it here. Put another little tree right in front of that. And then with water, what I like to do, honestly, is I take this colorless blender, which is basically just oil wax. There's no color into it. Now I'll just literally go right on the top of water, like this. And it gives it like a shine to the water. It actually adds more oil wax content to it, and it gives it a surface look of water. You got to be careful when you're doing this, because once you start adding more oil wax to it, then it's really hard to get anything to go on top of it. So it's one of my last things I kind of do, but I like to add that to water just to kind of help the water out, look a little bit more shiny. Okay. You can see how much I'm putting into it. And I don't know if you can tell on the video, but in person it definitely adds a sheen to that water and enhances it. Okay, so yeah, a colorless blender. It's a blender stick. It's meant to extend the colors out, and you can use it to blend even with. The only issue that I have with it is that since I layer a lot, sometimes I can't put anything on top of it because it's just too much oil and wax on the surface. But right on top of water, it's perfect. Works perfect for that. Okay, now let's add some leaves to this tree, and let's look at it real quickly. I haven't been looking at my picture here, but you can see where the brightness of those are. you can see that it's really like here, but we need a brighter green, so we need some of these greens here that I was using. Definitely this one's going to be used, and we'll add that ochre one. Okay, I'm just kind of picking out some greens, and probably this one, big guy. And then maybe a little darker ochre for some of these guys. All right, and just start adding in leaves, just random places. We'll start with some of these darker ochres. I literally just start dabbing like this everywhere. Try to control them more as much as possible. Let's bring in some green. Kind of build out these branches. Now this tree had mostly green leaves on it, as most of them haven't really turned yet, but I'm going to bring a little bit of gold to them and some light to some of them here. Because some of these are really hitting the light. They come right down, right in front of this tree. Watch, they're going to come right down in front of this. Get some green in there. This one's really heavy, so there's not a lot of sky in there. And we're going to need some more branch sticks, so let's get a brown, dark brown. All right, and build more little branches. Twigs, branches. Okay, just real light lines. Okay, and then more leaves. We're getting to the end, guys. Getting close. Just got this part left to go. Here. Over here. And some more little branches. Over here where there's a lot more light popping through this part of it. Let's bring in the light color leaves up in here. Let's have some leaves going across the tree like this. Across that like that. Helps to have a big stick like this. You can cover a lot of area with it. Okay, and then we back to the light one here. It's really light in here. The sun comes right into that spot. Okay. Pop some down. These guys go all the way down here. This is a real mushy stick. It likes to get really mushy. Let's bring some ochres, different, just a different color a little bit. Harder consistency stick, that's for sure. Cover some of those branches up with it. Right into the sky. I'm going to bring that bright yellow, where was it? Right here. Right here. I want a little bit more light there. I suppose there's a different way of doing this, but this is the way I do it. I just literally build out the leaves. Alright, but it works. It seems to work out. Where's that ochre? I like this ochre mixed into that green. Alright, some more branches. Some of these branches are not going to have any leaves on them. Just random little sticks here hanging out. Okay. Where that light is, that's where that brightest ones come through. Because this is where that light comes in that. Right, and I think it helps to bring some leaves across the tree trunk. Maybe even get a darker green here. Is it this one darker? It is, just a little bit. Sometimes you have a little bit of a darker green in some of those heavier areas. Wrong one. No, that'll work. This one is better, I think. I could go bright orange. Pop this guy in there. You can see that's really bright orange. We can put some of those in there, here and there. I like that yellow though. I think the yellow was better. It's starting to look kind of like that. Here's this one, the mushy one. Just helps have a different variety of greens and brights. I think they kind of make it all come together. The highlights of the branch pops through. That foreground looking pretty interesting. Yep, pretty much done. I'm kind of poking at it. Pretty much cover that distant tree back there all the way up. That happens. You just cover some of that background up is okay. But we definitely left a lot of sky coming through, which I like. Cover some of the sky up in there. So anyway, I'm getting there, guys. I think I could probably stop and just kind of take a break and maybe look at it here later. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm going to keep poking at this a little bit more. I had fun with this one at Commonwealth Lake Park here in Beaverton, Oregon. And trying to do it the way I remember it with these bright leaves that are on this tree. Not really looking at my reference. I mean, I can glance at it, but kind of putting in these bright oranges here to really pop that out. You can see I can keep poking at this and just keep going and eventually just stop. I like those oranges down in there. So this tree is beginning to turn. Some more of these branches. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at it. shines. If you can see that. That was from that blender stick. Softening up that texture right there. There's those clouds. That's a crumb right here. Sometimes you get these little crumbs. Now, if I wanted to, I could take a Sen white and even really pop the white on that cloud. Sometimes that's needed. Just kind of pop those final highlights. Let me clean my fingers before I even put my finger in there. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to put a green blob right there in the cloud. So just find a clean pinky. That'll work. That lavender there for that cloud really worked out well. There's a tree. Sky. I think we're pretty good. I do like that scratch back I was using back in here, where I was just going like this. It's really an effective little thing you can do to make grass or branches or something. You can make a larger branch maybe. Just scratching back. And the shadow worked out pretty well. Alright, so I'm going to sign this guy. I'm going to move all these guys. And appreciate you guys sticking in there, those who stick in there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting and joining and subscribing and asking questions and just being part of the channel. I appreciate it. I'm going to sign my signature right over this section right here. Nice sunny early autumn season day here at the lake. Okay, I like to sign with the red, and it's real easy. Just R A period fingerprint. All right, and I like to put my fingerprint in places All right. Let's take a look here again, close up. This is on that Bristol Smooth. So oil pastels seem to work great on Bristol Smooth Paper. I had no problem. Didn't even have to use a fixative. Of course, I have different brands of oil pastel, so that really helps me. Different consistencies, so you get the softer stuff on top of the harder stuff. Here it is, a couple feet away. Here's about 4 or 5 feet away. Different angles. Alright guys, I am done. We're going to call this one done. And I enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys next time. So next time we're going to do a tiger. I'm going to do a tiger. And it's going to be big, on a big board, I think. So that'll come probably, I don't know, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So, okay guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.